We have a white label dashboard, so it looks like your software. It's not just in the name by putting your logo up here. Everything within the dashboard, and I'll show you how that works on the software, is completely transformed. So you have no mention of all this. It's on your agency domain. It actually runs as your software. Nobody has this because you can treat this as your tool. Here's all this assistant. Every week it runs the maps and it comes back and it says, okay, what do we need to do this week? When you get up, whatever, it starts on the day that you start the account, but 7 days later, you come back and it auto creates the posts. It creates the Q&As. It creates the services. It auto responds and solicits reviews. It auto runs weekly competitive reports, and it saves you tens to hundreds of hours, depending on how many clients you have, in SEO task labor. You literally can manage many, many more accounts with all this. We have all sorts of case studies. I mean, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I'll just tell you that for every niche, we've been testing all this for over a year, and we've shown just by giving Google what they want. And I don't mean from a checklist. I mean by doing it better than your competitors in your trade area makes a huge difference. Before you get to buying any, secret sauce things, you should focus on this, where you get all of your things right that's done inside Google. And you want to make sure that those things are done first before you step out and you deal with, maybe you do have a tough client that's doing everything you're doing, but you want to do better than them. But for this, all this does everything for you, and it does what Google wants you to do. So you can see it increases calls, it increases patient leads. It takes their rankings up in their trade area, not in a random area, in their trade area. So this is the bottom line. It saves hundreds of hours on local SEO. It replaces all the outdated tools that you have. You don't need to spend money on mapping tools and other optimization tools, other GBP management tools. Everything comes with it. We do a 30-day money back guarantee. And in the first 70 accounts that we signed up in the first 2 weeks, not one of them has asked for their money back and they're active. So, because it's a local SEO solution all in one place. Now here, we're offering this to the GMB Pros group for $39. The price is $47. If you go to the website, allthislocal.com, you'll see everybody else pays $47. We're holding this price for 3 days. If you contact, even if you want to buy it a week from now, contact Alfredo and let them know you're interested so that they can lock in that rate for you. But we're in beta phase. When we launch this for open enrollment, we may increase the price from 47. There's nothing on the market like it. So anyway, Alfredo, that's, I did want to show you one thing. You can take all this, and I just did this brief thing because as an ex-agency owner and a businessman, I can tell you at $39, whatever amount of clients you have, we have agencies building special products just for doing local SEO, or you can include this in your existing pricing scale. It's $39 per client, but your profit, if you just took, we have one agency that this is all they do is local. So you can actually expand, and one person can handle 100 accounts easy with all this, because you're basically reading and clicking buttons. And you're up on everything, but at the same time, it does everything for you as far as the task. If you charge $7.99, we have clients who charge more, but I'm just going to stop it here. You can see that your I got an error here. These are actually not dollar signs, but in any case, this represents up to 100 clients. You can actually see that your profit potential with all this is huge. It's like having a local SEO person in-house, and you can run it with very, very little time, and it'll do a better job than 100 people could do, because it's all based on your actual competitors and trade area. Anyway, Alfredo, I can show the software if you want.
Yeah. So before we get there, John, one thing that I wanted to point out, guys, that I love with all this it's running constantly, right? It'll run some things hourly, it's going to run some things weekly, and it's going to run some things monthly, and it's going to give you a rolling 30 days, guys, of an SEO plan. So if your competitors notice you and they're like, okay, we need to start making this move, all this will see that and suggest, okay, we need to do it like that better, or it's always going to be one up on them. And then it's always going to do like a better
Yes,
copy, better images, right? And I can't
yes,
wait for John to, and I do want you to show it, John. Point out the bucket list, point out the AI that's generated in there a little bit, but I also want to point out with this, guys, it's a Google review tool. It's not a black hat tool. It's the best practices, best in class. The minimum, I can't even say the minimum dosage of effectiveness, because it's going to take what's effective and do one better. But it is a Google review tool. So and another thing I love that, I can't wait to go live, is the different types of reporting. And one thing that I've had, and I think all of us had that one customer, right? That, hey, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me this week? You're gonna be able to show that within all this. And John, if you can show the assist too, by the way, and I know you're about to
yes,
show, how to add on, but I want
yeah.
to make sure our people really capture that, because I think it's gonna help. What John's showing you right now is gonna be like the set it, forget it, and then you just come back, read and approve it. Because even though we have AI, guys, is as good as its inputs. It's as good at, you still want to put your human eyeballs on it. I don't care who teaches AI. There's certain levels, they'll do the heavy lifting, but I think anybody that's good, it'll tell you get human eyes on it. So that's why we'll say read it and approve it, but it'll do the heavy lifting for you, and it's amazing. So John, if you can share those particular things as a agency
I'll
owner,
make sure.
because
Um,
at the end of the day, it's about saving two things: the cost, right? As an agency
yes.
owner, it's saving us time and money. How can we get our project managers to do more, right, with less, without having to throw money at it, or you having to put more time? If we can do that, and all this definitely does this. I was in a presentation, yeah, man, I was excited. I was telling John before our call, I got super excited. I can't wait for the Philippines. I can't wait, to share this with more people. And even our call today, because of what I was able to show, and they're like, and there's one thing, this is what I like about GBP Pros, is over the shoulder stuff. I want John to show it so it'll capture, like, yeah, everybody talks a good game, right? Everybody talks, but when you can actually see what we're doing, and you can actually see it in play, like, Alfred, you know what? I know you said this, and this is what happened to me last night. And even this morning, when my project manager, like, man, I understand, like, oh crap. Okay, I heard you say it. Now I see it. Now I'm doing it. Like, okay, okay. Watch out now. Watch out, Sean. I see you in the chat. Watch out. So yeah, John, please to give us a demo of the
Okay.
platform.
Well, we're just going to start at the beginning. I do want to say that this is a Google authorized software, that we did everything. It's a white hat software. So everything I'm showing you is, you'll see it has the Google logo on it, and they have to approve everything we do. Okay. So I'm going to go in here where the first thing you do is you link your Google account. I've already linked mine here for this demonstration, but you link your account and you bring everything in that's on you can bring in multiple Google profile. I mean, Gmail address. You can bring multiple accounts in. You can bring in one, but the point is you need to bring them in first. Next, you need to load each account individually. And why do we do that? In most Google management platforms, I won't even mention their names. They'll have you bring everything in, because what they do is all they're doing is transporting it in and then setting you up for reporting or mapping. What then, in this case, we're going to take Dentures Plus, who, by the way, was on the platform. They've been on it for quite a while, since for a year, but they're beta. But I took them off so I could bring them back and show you how it works. In any case, we're going to continue, and you choose the location. This is their location in Hawthorne, New Jersey. We confirm the location. This is where we sent the drive time, okay? Now, this is a denture specialty place. So I'm going to go with, a bigger drive time. I could take it all the way out here, but I'm going to go with 20 minutes because what do we know from MRI Simmons? No one's going to come more
Yes.
than 20 minutes anyway. I mean,
Guys, this is the magic here. I'm sorry to interrupt, John, but this is the magic. This is the power of this tool to give you all the rest. Almost the leading domino, right? Is the drive time that somebody's willing to drive to your location, but it also works in reverse if you have a service-based business, right? Of your true competitors, of your true customers, where you're going to get that from. Sorry, John, but I just want to make sure we really hit that
that's
home.
okay. It's a little bit hard to see maybe, but you can see that there's a boundary here and the boundary's been defined. That is your actual trade area right here that we've defined as 20 minutes from the location according to Google Drive Time. So we're going to confirm the trade area and then it's going to go out. And again, it's going to pull tens of thousands of data points. It's going to pull all of your information. And what you want to do is, I'm just going to add a couple. You can add up to 10 keywords. And people say, why don't you add more? Because you'll find there's usually in most businesses 10. I mean, 10 is max. I would say 5 main keywords that define the business. Okay. Now this is a very specific niche. So I'm just going to do 3 so we can kind of move on from it, but we'll just add 3. And then what we do is when that's through loading, we'll go ahead. Now, normally we get the cost of the cost per click. If it's not there, it's because Google's not offering it to us. But in most cases, it's there. The next thing you do, unfortunately, you got to pay. I don't have to pay if it's a demo, but this is where you pay. You proceed to checkout. You go ahead and subscribe, and then it's going to go ahead and whoop. Now you got congratulations. You've got your business loaded. Now the next thing that all this is going to do, it's going to take the keywords that you entered and it's going to create maps. The next thing it's going to do, it's also going to go and find all your competitors in your trade area and see how you stack up versus those competitors for those 300 plus variables I told you about. And then it's going to then create a score, which it does every single week. And it not only looks at, your local or your Google business profile, it looks at your website. And all the score is going to give you, well, this is missing and this is what you need to work on. Think of it as all the score works almost like a task list where all this assistant does everything for you. So we have to wait while this loads.
Now, I want to point out here, John, when it's doing your trade area too, guys, it's taking a look at traffic patterns, populations. It takes a look at landmarks, right? So LA, New York, Dallas, Florida, Chicago, it's obviously going to be a lot different than maybe the Oregon or Tennessee, right? It is way different, the metro area, the urban area, but that's what it all comes. It scoops all that up because everybody knows that, for example, I have a garage door guy that I just signed up. It's super easy for him to drive an hour and a half because it's all freeway and it's nothing, right? He gets there versus somebody in LA like that plumber. He doesn't have to drive that far because of the traffic pattern. So the trade area takes all that into account.
Okay, so thank you, Alfredo. That's it. I mean, great. Just please pipe in anytime. I forget stuff all the time. So anyway, after it's done analyzing your business with those variables, it now has created, this is your home screen for an individual location. Before I do this, I want to go outside this and show you the actual business home screen where all of your businesses are listed. You can run search grid maps out here. This is all very simple where if you want to run a search grid map, you just come in here, you can search for the business. If it's an existing business that you already have, you can choose it, like we'll choose Dentures Plus. And then you can come down here and choose the type of thing that you want to do. Let's choose drive time because that is the most accurate. And let's just see, I want to know how far they rank out, even though it's not relevant. Maybe I want to show the the client, how far they are, and I want to run a bigger map. So I'll go ahead and do that. So you can run maps out here. You can also do bulk posting out here if you want to create a post. Let's say all this doesn't creates all your posts, but you want to create additional posts. You can do that with all this. You can come in and do multi-location. If you have somebody that has 10 locations, 20 locations, you can do all your bulk posting here merely by getting all the lists and clicking on them individually to include them in the post. And all this will individually create specific personalization so that it'll post for you. And then, of course, these are your settings. Now, the settings are great. I'm going to show you the white label part. We're going to go ahead and choose, just a stock logo here. But let's say this is your agency logo. Well, look, we've just made this your dashboard. It's now agency professionals. We can add your favicon where we choose this here and we upload, use selected image, and we can, increase, basically grab the whole thing and oops, messed that up. We can basically edit this and add it. So once you get this done and you save it, then you've got a favicon. You can choose the color of your business. I'm going to go ahead and change it just because so it's different, but we'll choose this purple. And then here's the magic right here. If you go full white label, you just click that, and then everything within the dashboard is going to basically become full white label. Down here, you've got any of your payments and subscriptions. You can cancel a subscription if you decide, let's say, if for God forbid somebody cancels you, you can cancel it here. You also can invite people as part of your organization. If you have employees, you have virtual assistants you have remote employees. You can do this, and you can also select a role as a manager or an owner. And I suggest you use manager except for yourself. And then here is where you can link other accounts from within your actual dashboard. You don't need to do it again by going out. You can add them individually from within here. So this is basically your main dashboard. Now, if you go to your businesses and you want to actually do work or see what's to do on an individual client, this is your area. Now, if let's look at business score first. You can look that business score has determined that this is 60% of your total score. Your website's 86%. And then it's going to come in here and make recommendations. Now, all this is really smart, but you can be smarter on some things. When it comes to naming your business, let's say you have an H1 tag that you like or something, you can come in here and you can either fix it and recalculate your score, or you can disable it. And if you disable it and say, look, I don't think that's important, then it'll go ahead and recalculate your score based on that. But it goes down. It also tells you things that it found out you did right, which are here. Does it have hours defined? Does it have your description defined? And every single week, all the score is going to go out and compare you, not based on a list of factors or a checklist. It's going to say compared to what the other competitors are doing in your trade area. Now, if we look at Business Assistant, this is where all this shines. It says this week you have 26 actions to approve. Okay, it's already created all your posts. It's already created all your answers, your Q&As and service items that are missing, or it's looked at the competitors and determined how to schedule these things, and it's done the work for you. All you have to do, and the reason we didn't automate it is because still we want you to approve these things, because we don't want to come back and then maybe something you didn't like was included. So if you look, this you have to read the post. You have to you can change it out if you want. You can change out the picture, which I'm going to show you real quick, is very simple. You come in here. Well, here, I'll just come in here. You generate an image. I've already generated this one, so I'm going to do another one. And you just say, okay, I want dentures, and I regenerate it. So you can actually do your own image generation if you want. You also can do stock photo search, where if you put in dentures here, you can use stock photos, which are, free, copyright free. And then you also can use media that's uploaded from your client. Now, what we suggest, everybody who uses all this, all you have to do is load this tool, take this link and send this to your client, and they put it on their phone or on their, we're on their desktop, and anything that they take in the form of pictures at their location, they upload to the media bin, and then we go in and we reverse geocode these. We also use the GPS coordinates where you're not currently ranking, and we also take and place those photos, and you can use them in anything from posts to whatever you want. So that's another thing we have. And then this is an all media bin where it's created. Obviously, it's generated my image. Our images are beautiful. They're state of the art. They'll always create beautiful things. If you don't like them, regenerated them again and go ahead and use it. In this case, I'm going to say this image, I like the way it is, and I'm going to go with it. I'm going to come up, I'm going to establish a call to action. In this case, we default to call. We also have what's called a post cover. Now, I've already created a post cover, but I'm going to come out here and show you real quick how cool that is, because when you actually set up an individual business, you can come in here and create post covers for your location. That's what it's going to look like. You do that by adding a logo. Preferably, I would use like your favicon, or I would use the symbol, because it's a small area. I wouldn't just use a really tiny logo. I mean, a logo that's going to be really tiny. You also can affect the opacity. You can change the color of the type. You can also add whatever type you want. In this case, this is what I recommend you use. And even though Google has restrictions on content where they don't like phone numbers and posts, they don't seem to have a restriction on images. So you're free to do that. You also can link your profile from here, and you also can remove this from your dashboard, this whole client, should you decide to, or you no longer service them. But going back to the assistant, we're going to go ahead and schedule this post. It's as simple as reading it and actually hitting schedule. And then you'll get a notice that it's been successfully scheduled and that it's been added. All you got to do here is check. It added it for the next day, recommended by the AI. If you want to move this post, you can move it. This goes for your Instagram and Facebook posts as well when that's added next month, but they'll stack. And you can move this to anywhere you want. And you can go back in and re-edit it if you want, or you can discard it. But all this does all this for you. It'll lay out your whole schedule. And if you want to create more, you can do it by just adding a post. I want to add another post today. So here, if you wanted to build one from scratch, you just come in and you want to generate the text. You would just say, okay, I want, denture sale, whatever. And you could actually just generate a post in a few seconds and actually do this. Now, I don't think, honestly, you should have to do this. It's really a question of what you want to do, because I don't think you need to, if all this says that you're going to be doing more than your competitors, I don't think, again, Google's not going to give you any, if you want to show it to your client or that you're posting every day, you're free to do that. But my suggestion is that you don't. You can go create your photos, you add your post overlay, your call to action, and you schedule it. So, anyway, on your local keywords. Okay, these are the keywords that you added for these are the keywords that you added to your original maps. I mean, to create maps on. You can do up to 10. Again, if we go in, you can actually view the map. You can see the variables, the square mileage, that it's a drive time map, it's 20 minutes, what the average rank is. You can see when we started with Dentures Plus, they were doing about 14. And just by doing everything right when the competitors won't, they were doing really good. Now, Dentures doesn't have a high search in Hawthorne, but each case to this dentist is worth $3,000 to $4,000. And their denture business has added $1 million in production in 1 year to their dental practice. And it's all been through local search. And that's why it's really important to help these guys. We also do organic keyword search where you can add up to 30 keywords here. You can go ahead and keep adding them. If you want to add keywords, you come in here, you choose a keyword. Here you can go in and add any keyword you want, and you save it, and then it'll be added to the list. And it does it very quickly, and you can actually see how they're ranking for both desktop, for mobile, and for mobile Bing and mobile desktop.